Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Raw Recap Show, brought to you by the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network with your hosts, Nick McDaniel and Myron Fancher. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. I am, of course, your host, Nick, and I am joined by my co-host here, Myron.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to our network and the show we are going to give you tonight. Kind of makes me want to quit my job so I could have been home tonight to watch the show. Good God Almighty. Did they ever throw some stuff out there?
Well, it's you know, they always, man, that Raw after WrestleMania is always just a big old let's throw it all at the wall and see what hits, right?
Yeah.
We're luckily, man, the quick hits are already up on the WWE website, man. They don't usually get that good for us.
I think they were ready for the Tonight Show.
Yeah, and there was a lot to cover. We will go ahead and throw out there. This will be one of the rare exceptions where we will break the rule. Because we did talk about it last night on the WrestleMania recap show. There was so much stuff to cover that we did not touch base on everything. We still won't touch base on SmackDown-oriented stuff from WrestleMania, but, you know, if you want to talk a little bit of WrestleMania from the Raw perspective, that's allowed to because it was just so much of a show. But, man, let's jump straight in. Let's ask the big question. I always start off with you, man. What was your overall take of the show?
I started watching about 9:30 because that's about what time I got home, and I was just overwhelmed with everything they were doing. I was trying to absorb what happened in the first hour and a half before I got to watch, but, man, everything was huge. It was absolutely huge. It was exciting, plenty of content. Man. That was amazing. I mean, the women's match was great. Seeing Emma come back, it was just lightning tonight. I loved every second I could see. I can't wait to watch the replay on what I didn't get to catch.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you say, I don't know what you missed and what you caught, but they overall, dude, it was a pretty good show. I will say that to the least. But I know I'm expecting and here's the funny part. I was literally just about to say it with the whole, you mentioned Emma. So I just kind of was like, man, it can't be long before Nathan's calling in because he called Emma. And I said, man, it won't be long and he'll be here. And of course, without fail, let's go ahead and pull up. Let me click here, the 952. And you can go ahead, Nathan, and I will give you the floor on Emma.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Emma has come back, and she looks terrific.
Oh, yeah.
Unveiling the tree of woe, yanking on the hair, standing on the announcer's table. Corey Graves was loving it as the heel announcer or the commentator. Great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the ending with Charlotte throwing a fit and getting dropped by Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I loved it. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's almost as if, and, you know, obviously, we all knew Emma was going to come back at some point. But to showcase all these stars tonight and have them have big moments and get good press and then reboot it all next week is so perfect. Because then you have excitement, you have buzz around the Hardys, you have buzz around Finn Balor, you have buzz around Emma. It's great stuff. I was very, very happy with tonight's episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, definitely. I wish I got to see the revival. I would really want to see what that was.
So, yeah, it was terrific. And we talked about that last week, too. We talked about the revival getting called up after they got beat a little too cleanly by the Authors of Pain at TakeOver. The top guys. Yeah. We mentioned that, well, what are they going to do now? They've held the belts. They've done their heel stuff.
Yeah.
And the top guys and the Hardys are on the same show now. So, all hail.
Amen, man. Amen. I'm going to enjoy
my
this.
only thing on it. I didn't know if I wanted them all on the same show. So maybe that shake-up they're talking next week, maybe like, we heard the rumor of the New Day going over to SmackDown or something like that. Maybe that's what we're heading down that road. So maybe that was the beat down of the Revival putting the beat down on the New Day. But, yeah, hey, it is what it is. But, man, let's start with the elephant in the room. I know, Nathan, Myron, did you catch the very beginning, the Roman Reigns segment?
No, I heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It was something that us
Promo
that
of the year.
It was his best promo he's ever done, and it was one sentence. I don't even know if I'd call it a sentence. It was a catchphrase. How long did Nathan? How long did they boo him? 5? Would you say 5 minutes?
Oh my God, I would say at least 5 minutes. Because he would get booed, he would get chants, he would get, oh gosh, chants that I would care not to say on this show because I know you guys have a quota on curse words that you have to stay under, or a limit rather. And whenever he'd bring the mic to his mouth, they would start all over again, and it was deafening, just deafening. And it was perfect. It was good stuff. I loved it.
I totally.
I wouldn't call it a heel turn. I think that's looking too much into it, but wow, that was great. He had the crowd doing exactly what he wanted it was like 12 minutes into the show before anyone said anything.
Yeah.
Because they had the vignettes from last night. They had the Taker. They talked about social media, thank you, Taker. And then finally we get the Roman, the tagline, "It's my yard now." And he drops the mic, and the boos multiply by 10, and it's deafening, and he leaves. And that's it.
Yeah, that was his whole promo.
And that was it.
Literally, that was it. It's my yard now. Drop the mic and walk out. And I think we'll find out maybe next week and the weeks to come, where does he go with that character? But it was a big, I won't lie, it was a big middle finger to that crowd. The whole, they were relentless. And finally he had his window, he took it, said his line, dropped it, and walked. And I was like, best promo he's ever done. And then I think there's a lot of guys who are that way, where their promos need to be just really short, really succinct. Don't go on for 10 minutes or, just say it, boom, and walk. And that, when he did that tonight, it was the perfect promo for him in that arena, tonight. It was perfect for what he had to do. So could not be more pleased with the Roman Reigns segment. And believe it or not, I kind of protected him because that was it. He wasn't subjected to anything more. That was it. That's all he got all night long. So
and they got the boos out of the way early too, which was a smart book.
And I wonder, believe it or not, if obviously Triple H, Stephanie, Vince, whoever was there at that point, I wonder if that was the plan. Just say, Roman, just go out there. This is what's going to happen. Take it like a man. Stand there. Use it to your advantage. They'll get tired. Eventually, they will wear down, and it'll be out of their system. They when Vince came out later, we got the Roman sucks chant. He just kind of rolled right past it after a minute. He's like, well, if that's the way you feel, and then boom, he just kind of started talking, and of course they shut up to hear what he had to say, which we knew would happen. So overall, I think they handled the whole Roman situation pretty damn good, if you ask me. So.
Yeah, I think that worked out pretty good. I can't wait to see how it actually looked in person. But yeah, go ahead and get it out of the system, get out everybody in their system, get it to go, get the show going. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And
then I'll backpedal back to what I know, Nathan. We put that up on Twitter, the whole Emma thing, and like you said, they did a pretty good job. I think where I still think we go to Bayley, Sasha. You can always go now, Nia, Emma mixed it however you wanted to. This is opportunity simply by adding Emma you can mix up the dancing partners and pull off what SmackDown was doing at the beginning of the split.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best thing that could have happened.
The best thing they could do is get those 4 or 5 women away from each other, like as far as a group, and start splitting it off now. And of course, the joke was, who's the babyface, Nia or Charlotte? Well, is it Nia?
I don't want to see Charlotte be a face because I enjoy her as a heel so much. But they can't just waste Nia right now. So she's been pushed too hard to drop her as a heel. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It's not really easy to read right now for me. I don't know I would like to see Sasha continue to be a heel, but heels don't have to get along though. You can do
heels, yeah.
Yeah.
But me and my old school, I always prefer to have a babyface and a heel, somebody to cheer for, somebody to boo. But we don't live in that world anymore, so the WWE tells us.
That's one thing that Jerry was talking about tonight on the little bit of Talking Smack I caught. Is he said, I'm from the old days where you booed the bad guys and cheered the good guys. So I had to see how that works out.
Let's see. So what did you see, Myron? What was your favorite thing that you saw tonight?
The favorite thing I saw tonight, honestly, I saw Brock Lesnar acting like a champion. I mean, he acted like he was. I mean, the Paul Heyman promo was the drizzling shits tonight. I didn't really care for it. But Lesnar was like, I'm the champion. I'm going to defend this. He's out there. Strowman came out. He put the belt down. He's going to take him on. I think it was perfect. I think it was perfect the way they set that up. And Brock looked like a champion tonight. Looked like a real champion. I really like that. I think he'll be great right now. I don't know what they're going to do and how they're going to book him and how many times he's going to be out there. But tonight I was impressed. It was a lot more championship-like than when they had it on Owens, and Owens was, goofing around and doing comedy. So that's the perfect switch up. Put the Universal on him and let him come back. I didn't realize Jericho was going to be back. Oh yeah, no, I knew he's got about 20 days or so before his first concert. So I mean, I figured he'd be there for it. But now, granted, this could have been the takeout, but just putting him through a table, I don't think would put him off TV for that long. But I would be surprised. Well, I mean, let's see, when's the next pay-per-view coming up? Because he's gonna be the main match there. Is he gonna have time? Are they gonna be able to work him in? Maybe. I mean, I guess it's depending on how far along it is, because I'm gonna have to cheat and I'm gonna have to look it up as far as what's the date on Payback, because God only knows. It's probably like April 30th.
I think it's the 30th of April. Yeah.
So it's about 4 weeks.
I don't think he's got time.
They've already announced the match that he gets a rematch.
Oh, well, there you go. So I guess that's probably
Chris Jericho. He will do the match and then go straight to the flight and then play the show right when he gets there. That's how crazy Chris Jericho is.
Pretty dedicated.
Man, I wish I had that much energy. Jesus Christ.
Break out your DDP yoga, man, and you'll be there. I got to do it. I got to do something because I got home last night. I got in bed about 2:15. I woke up about 45 minutes before I had to open the store, and it's a 20-minute drive, and I still had to take a shower. So, but I got there on time. I got there confused as shit and disheveled, but I made it.
Yeah, by the way, I'm much more sober calling in tonight than I was last night. So sorry if I had a little outburst about the Wyatts. I listened to it on the way in today. I'm like, wow, I really lost it there.
Look, I mean, we've been around so many drunks; it's hard for us to even tell anymore.
Yeah, you didn't cross the line, and that's okay. So, but yeah,
you didn't cry or tell me about your feelings. Or go to that box in your basement where you've got the notes from your childhood and love notes from high school and
read my journal entries about how I want to be in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has happened to us before. That's the funny part is what Myron was saying has happened to us in the past. So let's see. I'll jump to the. Well, Nathan, you go ahead. I'll let you touch base on the Brock Lesnar thing real quick. What's your take on it?
Well, being from Suplex City, Minneapolis, Minnesota, I am a big fan of seeing Brock carrying the gold or the red and gold. And if they're going to eventually have a Roman Brock Lesnar feud sometime down the line, like towards SummerSlam or Royal Rumble or whatever, or Survivor Series or whatever it is, it's having Braun confront him in the ring tonight. I think that's a matchup that I think most people want to see. Because most people regard Braun as this kind of anti-hero babyface type who just destroys things. And I'm not quite sure how they would book a Brock-Braun match. It'd probably be tough for Brock to Suplex City, a 400-pound guy, but, having that stare down, I think, set a lot of the framework for what's going to lead to maybe the eventual Roman Reigns feud. But I don't know how they're going to turn that or, like, who's going to be what. But I'm happy to see Brock as champion. Goldberg, I respect Goldberg. I've said this before. I just am not a fan of him as a worker. And having Brock as the champion, he's not in UFC anymore, retired. So now he can do more appearances. He can do more. He can do more shows, more matches. I still think they should keep him in a limited capacity and do some matches to try to build that belt back up. But and God bless Kevin Owens, because I thought he did the best with what he was given from creative. But having Brock have the belt immediately brings a lot of legitimacy to it, and it was much needed.
I agree 100% with that. That's the perfect thing. It was the time they needed to put it on him. It's the time they needed a champion like that. I think it's going to work out great. It's going to be a great run. So I don't want it to be where he's only on occasionally. So I really, really hope that it's going to be something he keeps up. But, man, he looks so good standing out there. He's so arrogant looking, but he just looks like a champion. And that's what they needed right now, especially following up that huge WrestleMania. I mean, that's great. It's tonight's show. I didn't see enough of it to say it was the best Raw ever, but it grabbed me right by the heart and got me into it. So, I mean, I thought that was awesome. That's what it should do. It should make you feel like that. That's just their everyday network program. I thought it was great. I hope they continue to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll jump in here and we'll touch base on, because you're talking about, them having to put the belt on Kevin Owens and, his title reign and all that stuff. Well, obviously the reason they put that strap on him was because Finn Balor got hurt. And tonight we finally get Finn Balor's return to TV. He's been doing some house shows, but he makes his big return tonight. Ironically, to team with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a little unique.
Yeah.
So much so I even tweeted out, was I the only one who was hoping that Finn Balor would turn heel and, and turn on Seth Rollins and become, Plan B. He would become maybe the fourth guy in the stable we keep hearing about with Triple H. Man, that would be one hell of a stable, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
We see that clearly, saying we know it didn't happen at this point. So, but that would have been a hell of a stable. Owens, Joe, and Balor. I was like, that would have been nice. One note, they did mention it on commentary. All four guys in that match were former NXT champions.
Yep. Tyler Black, Kevin Steen, and Prince Devitt, and good old
Prince
Samoa Joe.
Devitt, Bullet Club.
Yeah, good old Joe's had the same name the whole time.
I think that they're going to add someone to that Triple H stable.
Mm.
I think that Finn would have been a decent pick to have him go heel, but I feel like that Vince wants to ride that the Balor mystique and the babyface merch, the Roman merch, for a while, because he's red hot, of course. And my pick to be in the Triple H heel stable is Pete Dunne from the United Kingdom Championship.
Definitely, I agree 100%.
The Bruiserweight. How perfect would that be next week when they shake up the rosters?
That guy is so unlikable.
Tripp says, he's such an asshole, and he just looks like every bully from elementary school. He's perfect, and he wears this British strong style. He wears a singlet. He's the Bruiserweight. Oh, I love Pete Dunne, I hope to God that he gets to be in the Triple H heel stable, because I would love that.
Yeah. I would really like to see a lot more of that. A lot more of the English guys out there right now.
Well, we had a lot. We talked about that on our that WrestleMania pre-show we did when we had Steve Herman from the Buzzards Wrestling Podcast on. He talked about it. He said the same thing, that's the rumors flying around that Pete Dunne is going to be the fourth guy in that group.
Yeah.
Kind of basically rebuilding Evolution in this, in the grand scheme of things. Triple H, taking the Ric Flair role and et cetera, building it out that way kind of thing. And you got to have the young guy who you're going to groom along, and Pete Dunne's that guy, and he fits that.
He's the young Orton, or is he Batista?
He'd be Orton, I guess, is who they would actually have to in that angle. You would, because Batista was a little bit older, so you would almost have to say
that's true.
Owens would be, as crazy as it sounds, Owens is your Triple H, Joe is your Batista, or maybe vice versa, depending on and then the Orton role would be filled by Pete Dunne, which would be pretty spectacular. My only knock on this entire match, and if you follow us on Twitter at TappedOutPod, you would have read what I said. It was a shot at the crowd. Most of the night, the crowd was good. I was okay with it for most of the night. The only part that really irked me a little bit is all night long you freaking chanted that you wanted Finn Balor. You get Finn Balor in the tag team match, and then you're freaking doing the wave and crap like that, then, beach balling in the middle of the tag match. I'm like, okay, you're missing a pretty good match, and this is what you asked for. And so at that moment, I was like, okay, now you're trying to get yourselves over. And that's where I draw the line with the crowd stuff.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Jericho fed him right into it by saying Beach Ball Mania is running wild.
Well, yeah.
Jericho can get out there and control them. That's the thing about him. He can go out there and make the crowd do whatever he wants them to, and they don't even know it's happening. But I don't think anybody else on the roster right now is quite as effective with the crowd. So it would be tough to see that go on with anybody else do that, because those guys are just not as charismatic as him, and he is the elder statesman right now of the program. People love him, and he works the crowd just like he does a match.
Well, tonight he controlled them from the back. He wasn't even in the front of he was in the back, and he controlled them in a backstage segment, which was just cracked me up. That I'm like, dude, he doesn't even have to be out there. So anyway, that was my only really, honestly, that probably was my only knock on the crowd tonight. For as a whole, they did pretty good, because we all know that that's one of my pet peeves. And we will also jump now, and at any point, anybody obviously can tell me, what they want to talk about. We've done this 100 times at this point. But the question that I had is, what do you think down the road, Kurt Angle as the new general manager? They're saying Stephanie's out for a little while because she was hurt, at the table spot at Mania. So Mr. McMahon, Vince, comes out and appoints Kurt Angle the new GM. So Myron, what's your take on it? Because I had mixed feelings after today's episodes, but yeah.
That's not how you spell soft.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was probably one of the lines of the night.
Yeah. He was perfect. He's got that dry comeback. He does it, he's funny when he's not even trying to act funny. He's been trying to be straight man on stuff like that, and it's hilarious. I'm glad to see him. I think he'll do a great job. The problem I have with him as the well, I don't have a problem with him as the general manager. Stephanie needs some time off. Vince came out, took the burden tonight. Yeah, she didn't get hurt by that table spot. My God, if anybody can put you through a table and not hurt you, it's Triple H. So it was a good thing. Give her some time off. God, she's so unlikable when she's talking. So, I mean, shit. Yeah, she can keep her mouth shut. She's great, but not really something I enjoy listening to her. So, yeah, he'll be great. He'll be great. He's perfect for it. He's done it before. He knows what needs. And if it's just something temporary, he can come out and do it, and then they'll shake it back up later, and figure it out. But what's this shake-up thing, okay? Can somebody explain to me what the shake-up is?
Well, it's not the draft, because they would have called the draft. I'm just literally people about it. I mean, crazy. Did I miss something?
I kind of lost you there for a sec.
Yeah, you were fading it out, Nick.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Basically, what I said was, they didn't really say it's a draft. So,
like a free agency period or something?
Well, I mean, AJ Styles is a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Let
him move around. Yeah, move some guys around.
But here's the thing, though. They can inject guys like, going back to Pete Dunne, he's nowhere right now. So he could just, Triple H could appear, beat up from Seth and say, that could be an angle to bring in Pete Dunne as his bruiserweight muscle, the shake-up. And then you could have a thing where, and as for who's going to be the commissioner, I think that SmackDown, since the brand split last August or last July, has proven that you don't need to have the dynamic of the heel Stephanie versus the babyface Mick Foley to do well, because Daniel Bryan and Shane were basically babyface authority figures. And that really worked. And SmackDown was the good show, and they proved that you don't have to have this, the good cop bad cop thing to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. And they did a wonderful job. The show was much better, and they didn't waste a lot of time with that. I mean, Stephanie and Mick gimmick did not go over as well as I thought it would. All it did was just make you hate Stephanie and feel sorry for Mick. But it was emasculating to Mick. It made him look ineffective. Hopefully, the way they've got it with just Angle making the decisions, he'll be able to make decisions. There won't be a lot of crap. He'll be interacting with the wrestlers instead of another authority figure. You won't get all that authority stuff happening, where that's taking up the time and they're out. You turn the program on and all you see is it starts with authority figures and you get authority figure stuff. You'll get more interaction with the wrestlers. I think it'll be better for the program. Because SmackDown, man, they have got everything right until the last month, and then they threw everything out the window, which I don't know what happened there. Did they have a better or worse showing at Mania than Raw?
Oh, 1,000 times worse than Raw.
Yeah.
1,000 times worse.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
It's almost like they said, "Oh God, we can't let them look this good going into Raw." And they killed it. The program.
Why? I mean, I talked about the Orton Wyatt finish, which was a complete nothing finish for me. But at the same token, the SmackDown Women's match, it was originally slated to be on the kickoff show. You all remember this.
Yeah.
So after that, the internet freaked out and said, "Oh, this is nonsense. You can't have the SmackDown on the pre-show." So then, I don't know if it was Vince has planned the whole time to have them on the main roster or on the main card just to create buzz for it or whatnot. But yeah, they got like a 5-minute match for a fatal 4-way plus Naomi.
Yeah.
It was,
And they all had brand new gear. They were walking down. They didn't even get down the ramp before they were announcing more superstars.
yeah, we
it's
blasted
pathetic,
this
like-
last night. Yeah, on the
Oh my God!
we
What in the hell
And
was
you could have had them on the kickoff show, and instead of hearing a bunch of talk with Shawn Michaels, God bless him, but he's not exactly who I would pick for a kickoff show to talk. It's like instead of having Lita, Shawn Michaels, and doing all this talk, they could have had another match, and they could have had the SmackDown women go for 20, 30 minutes or whatever they needed, and they could have had a good match out of it. And
I mean, you could have gave them 15.
It was a big nothing match for me. There was one cool spot with that double sharpshooter, and I don't know.
Yeah, that was good. I like that double sharpshooter. I didn't know they could do that. But they waste. It's a waste. But they wanted to keep the best stuff off the pre-show, and the pre-show was still free. I didn't realize that. You can get the app without having a membership and just watch pre-shows to stuff like that for free.
Yes.
So
the pre-show was good, though. The pre-show was good.
Except for
the
Dave.
Cruiserweight match was good.
Cruiserweight match
was
phenomenal.
Oh, definitely. They had Gronk in the Battle Royal. I mean, that's a big trying to get buzz from ESPN.
I would say
our guy Mojo won it, though, right?
Imagine as bad as Gronk is about being injured, how much insurance they had to take out just to get him there and in the ring like that. So it's not like they can waste all that, They got to do something with Mojo after that. They've got to keep moving. So,
Oh, dude, the hype train has reached.
Oh yeah,
has reached critical mass. And like I said, they needed to do that because when the Hype Bros became number one contenders, that was when Zach blew up his knee. Mm-hmm. So this was a great move to keep the hype train rolling for Mr. Mojo Rawley, who's our guy on the Twitter.
Yeah,
of course.
And this was, I think, this is his.
My question. Where is the merch that
there is
no
merch?
Where's the Mojo shirt and the Mojo snapback? Damn it! I looked on the WWE shop app at work today, and it was nowhere.
I checked just a little while ago.
You can't do that.
I was looking through, just checking to see what all they had, and for everybody, because I wanted to see the new merchandise, and I also wanted to see when they were going to clearance out some of the WrestleMania stuff, because some of that WrestleMania stuff was sweet, but it's still full price, and there's still nothing for nothing at all for Mojo. I really don't need the extra eye black that he had. Or
he could come out wearing on SmackDown tomorrow, of course.
Yeah. So they
we
didn't
talked
have
a lot
any...
about Mojo on this podcast.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. It might be just because a lot of people hate him so much, and he just seems goofy. But I like the guy, and it works. He's the perfect guy for Vince. He's absolutely what Vince like. He's a big, hulky guy. He's got a football pass, just like Ernie Ladd and Wahoo McDaniel and all those guys. So it's the guy. He's the guy. He's the future. They're going to do a lot.
Triple H loves him too.
Yeah. I mean, he probably. I mean, he obviously works really hard. And I am by no means. And here's the thing. I say this, and I'll say I hope he would prove me wrong. I'm not saying he's world champion. I'm saying he's an intercontinental champion waiting to happen. Hey, anybody who we always joke about him playing, if anybody who interacts with us on social media, we're in. We'll push you. We'll put you over. And so, but it's just he does have the look that we all know that Vince is always, if he's got the size, and let's be blunt, he's got some speed. He was moving when he gets going, man. He's got some speed on him. But that's we called it. We made that pick. Steve chuckled. When we made that pick. I know a couple of guys, the wrestling dorks on our network. They're not big Mojo fans, and it's a fun, back and forth with them when we start talking about, man.
They're just not hyped, man. They're not hyped.
Yeah, got to get hyped. Definitely hyped.
I actually tagged.
By the way, you talk about Intercontinental Champion waiting to happen. If he gets the Intercontinental Championship, you know what you do then, of course. You bring Zack Ryder out of injury, and you have him feud with Mojo Rawley.
Yeah.
With Mojo Rawley as the babyface. Because Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship, and he can talk about how he was disrespecting Neil. He lost it the next day, and he's coming for it. And then you have a Hype Bros breakup when they get stale. And then a mid-card title push between Ryder and Mojo. There you go.
Yeah. Well, speaking of teams, let's backpedal to Raw here. A team that we haven't talked about yet, which kind of floors me over 30-something minutes into the show, the Hardys.
Yes, definitely.
I know we talked about it last night. I thought Myron was going to break a hip the way he came out of his chair. Yeah. He straight up in the air, which is a dangerous scene, man, when they came out.
I've got physical therapy appointments. I gotta do something to rehab that hip I sprained when the Hardys popped like that. So that was, man. They did so much old stuff last night. Undertaker, Hardys. It just worked, man. It worked out perfectly. So that's so much better than the Goldberg and the part-timer type crap. It hits you, and it's emotional, and it's building. I'm glad the Hardys are back. I turned the volume down on the Raw Talk or whatever you call that program that was in the background, but they didn't seem wacky. I don't know how wacky they're going to be, how broken they're going to be. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that when we're done here to find out if they're going to be crazy, broken Matt and Jeff and Brother Nero, or just the Hardys, which, I mean, hell, it's saying just the Hardys.
It appears their behavior, even in the ring, I think Vince is going to have them walk a fine tightrope line until that stuff's all resolved, because I'm not sure that it has been resolved. I was just sure. I mean, I just knew Vince. I'm like, man, there's just no way he's going to have them come out there and not have this stuff taken care of. He knows for sure. Because every now and then, they'll throw out a little delete, but they're not going full blown into the characters. Like you said, they're kind of walking a fine line of, they're the Hardys, and they're, their style, they're still wrestling kind of like their old style. But every now and then there's Matt will say something with that inflection, and then, and he'll throw the little delete. And then, so it's kind of, I'm like, okay, and speaking of which, by the way, the delete chant during Roman Reigns might have been one of my funniest chants that, when he was out there. They're hollering, delete. But yeah, I'm psyched, man. With just like you said, we talked earlier with two teams, the Revival and the Hardys back. Tag team is, it's pumped
all
again.
All of a sudden, that tag team division went crazy, and the New Day are wrestling again. So that's a lot of talent in there, man. That's a lot of talent. I think it's great. It's great. It might be the best part soon.
Well, I tell you what, there's one thing you want to watch out for. I don't know, Myron, did you catch the Cruiserweight match?
Not at all.
I know typically when the Cruiserweights or the 205 stuff comes on, as you might call it what you will, you're real quick to not pay attention as much.
Yeah, I go do something else.
You should probably want to watch.
Is that Mustafa Ali guy? How was he?
Terrific.
Very good match. I was really, really surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, that those two, dare I say, that match, as short as it was, might have been better than the one that we got at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Had they been given more time, I might actually would have preferred that match. Now, Austin Aries and Neville wasn't a bad match. There were just some really cool spots in the this one, and you could tell they probably knew they had a shorter time frame. But Neville does a very heel dick move to the crowd tonight that I was like,
What did he do?
It was such, they've been playing this angle where he only uses the red arrow when he is in a situation he's so desperate because he doesn't want to do it because the fans love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tonight he ends up, he runs, he jumps, he's perched up onto the top rope. He's getting ready like he's about to do it, and then like he realizes he's doing it. He pauses and like looks around, and the crowd's kind of cheering for it. So he hops off of the top rope, runs over, and puts the submission move on him.
Oh, that's
outstanding.
working good for him. That heel gimmick is working good for him.
Yeah,
he's ugly, for lack of a better way to put it. He's not an attractive man. So it might be the best thing they can do, with him. Make him go over that way.
Well, as I've been informed by the women in this house, that if he just, shaved his head, shaved and cleaned up a little bit, he actually would be a pretty good looking man, is what I was told.
It's the damn ears.
That's what I said. I was like, man, if a good wind comes up, Neville's in trouble because he's taking off. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, definitely, man. You want to see Mustafa Ali. He misses this move, by the way, which is even more impressive. Goes for an inverted 450.
Wow.
And that was probably the move that I was kind of like. And then that Nathan, if you know what it's called, because I missed what they called it. That
I would call that a top rope slingshot Spanish fly.
That
but
flat back looking thing that they flipped him off of the top, man, that was the craziest thing.
Oh,
like
my
I said,
God, that is such a good spot. They did it on 205, I think 2 weeks ago, and I was floored by it. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, then definitely. I know you've DVR'd it, Myron. You've got to go back and watch that match. That was a really a solid match.
Definitely.
So yeah, man, that was a top, really good. We've covered Nathan. What else have you got, man? Because I'm looking through my notes, and man, we've covered most of what we needed to talk about.
Well, going back to the Hardys with their gimmick or lack of the gimmick that they used in TNA and Ring of Honor, that is so. I'm sure you're aware that TNA or Impact or whoever the hell is in a legal battle with Matt Hardy and his wife over the broken gimmick. So they're battling out in court right now. Well, what enforcer would you want on your back if you were in a court battle other than Vince McMahon? So
yeah,
one of two
money.
things. I think one of two things is going to happen. Either Vince will use his vast resources, money, influence, power, what have you, have a lengthy court battle. It'll cost Jeff Jarrett a bunch of money, and then Vince will ultimately win. Or he will do what I think he's going to do and basically hand Jeff Jarrett a blank check and just say, do your worst, I'm taking the broken gimmick. So then what you do is at some point you have the Hardys lose the belts. It doesn't have to happen soon, but once that broken gimmick is secured and WWE has the rights to it, you take them off TV for a little bit, and then you bring them back as Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, and they're more over than ever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the delete chants are even louder than they were before, and Vince prevails once again.
You have somebody new, maybe the Revival takes the titles off of them, and they actually hurt one of them.
Top guys.
And they come back. And when they come back, they're broken. Maybe it's they take out Matt's knee or something. So when he comes back, it's completely changed or something like that. That wouldn't be the worst. So I do really like that idea. What else, man? What you got, Myron? Come on.
I was just looking at this picture that one of the new NXT Performance Center women posted. Of the backstage, like the people that were on one of the tables and terraces there, like WWE talent at WrestleMania. It's got all your great NXT people. It's got Jack Gallagher. It's got that weird Brian Kendrick fellow. But on top of it, you see they brought in the English guys. Pete Dunne's there. Tyler Bates there. Trent Seven. Wolfgang is there. Watching WrestleMania. That's great.
Nigel's in it. I saw you posted it. Nigel's in it. Yeah, there's a lot of those guys running it. It was
But they got the European tournament guys. They brought them there to let them witness WrestleMania. That's awesome. Because, if you see that, you've got to want to be in it.
That's Vince's bait a lot of times, man. He's big. And we're going to touch base on this because it clearly didn't happen on Raw. McIntyre. Clearly, does it look like because everything's saying now they're talking about him going to be on SmackDown, which kind of surprises me a little bit. But hey,
I thought he was going to work on NXT for a while.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Swerve that they want to push that swerve.
I don't know.
Bring Broken Dreams goes to SmackDown.
We really won't know anything until next week is over. There's just so much going on, so much wild stuff.
Yeah, and then tomorrow night's going to be a buffet like it was tonight, and they'll get some guys over, and then next week they'll do their shake-up, whatever Vince said tonight, and then it'll be, it's like hitting the reset button on the PlayStation.
Yeah, like
you just.
What made me think about it what you just said? How smart is Vince to do the shake-up next week? Because this week he could do whatever the hell he wanted to with calling anybody up to any show, and it wouldn't matter. Because we could sit here and talk about how Revival's on Raw. They could get moved to SmackDown next week.
He's basically getting 2 post-WrestleMania shows for each episode. He got enough hype to have us pay as much attention today as we're going to pay next week. He made it a big deal. He made a show that could be a letdown show that people might be worn out and not interested in seeing as much into a big deal. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and we will see because I will tell you this, man. The Twitterverse this weekend was the busiest I've ever seen it. As far as interactivity with us, it was off the charts. I know you were here last night. We were looking at the numbers, man, and it was just like, Jesus, how many people have to be watching this stuff?
Well, my Twitter was so blown up at work today. I looked down. It's like I don't even know what all this is. I don't know where all these notifications are. I mean, I'm tagged in stuff, but then there's people tagging stuff, and there's Conrad is everywhere.
I actually want to send him a message and ask us, does he have somebody running his account now, or has he got a bot that's running his account or something? Because, man, he liked something that I posted at like 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. Yeah, okay, by the way, I was still up at 3 o'clock this morning.
Well, he liked something that I commented on somebody else's post. So it's like, that's weird. But that would have meant he not only read the post he was tagged in, but then he went back and read the comment. So it's like, wow.
He's like Mojo Rawley with the Twitter. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Damn.
He's just like heart. Everything that he sees with his name attached to it, which we know isn't true because he doesn't like everything we've tagged him in, and nor would I. Some stuff I tag him in just to see if he'll actually will he like it or something, just curiosity. But man, that's anything else on Raw before we break out of here, or even WrestleMania before we break out of here for the night.
I know I'm like the kid, like the night before Christmas or the after Christmas. You got all your presents and you want to play with them, but you're so tired. Because I'm exhausted right now. It's been such a good 2 days, a good weekend. The Super Bowl doesn't even pop this long, You get everything. We got to do if they're coming to Atlanta, man. We just got to plan on just staying there the whole time.
Oh, you mean for Mania? Because they did run a commercial tonight during Raw that they are coming. The SmackDown's coming to Atlanta, May 30th.
May 30th. I'll have to get tickets to that.
Tickets go on sale Friday.
Okay.
And I will give something that's like the totally because if somebody out there is listening to this that understands how this works, I gotta know. I know they do market specific commercials. Like not everybody in the United States saw that little bitty blurb about the SmackDown coming to Atlanta because they do that as a market specific. I need somebody to explain to me why on my television that ad ran on my cell phone. I was streaming through the Comcast app to my phone. That commercial did not come up on my phone.
Must not be location specific like that, huh? I don't know how that works, but that would, I guess I could see that happening.
Yeah, it just was the weirdest thing as I sat there and I waited because I was going to take a screenshot of it and send it to you because I knew you were still at work when I saw the first commercial. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is telling me it's coming. I never saw it on my phone. I was like, that's just crazy. So yes, if anybody's curious, that's how I actually get the screenshots. I use the Comcast app. I stream.
I tried it. I'm not fast enough, man. You're just like a machine. You're a snapshotting machine, man.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're on Wi-Fi. If they ever get blurry, my Wi-Fi is acting up. That's what happens. But it's a pretty cool thing. So Nathan, anything else, man? Because I got a few things I actually want to. This is kind of crazy. I wanted to really say thank you. I mean, we're completely finally out of March. We had a record March. We're not Conrad. We're not Bruce. So we're not throwing numbers out. But we had a monster March as far as download goes for us. I mean, we were super, super happy.
At least a 50% increase.
It ended up being it was more than that. It actually ended up being it was about 75%. We almost, and I mean almost doubled our downloads month over month from February to March. It was nuts.
So
I'm extremely, extremely happy.
And if those numbers you showed me from this morning continue, good God, we blew up over the weekend too.
We had a big weekend. I was not completely surprised with WrestleMania. But man, it's, and Nathan, you're on here, man. So I'll let you hear, you'll get a kick out of this. We thought when we started this, it would be like, oh, we're going to have our buddies in Georgia listen and some people here and there. But we see, if you're listening and you're in these towns, thank you. This is what we're, at the top of our charts, we've got Dublin, Ireland, France. Yep. The United Kingdom is nuts. I mean, we get tons from over there. And I wholeheartedly want to say thank you to the Buzzards Wrestling Podcast. We are sure tons of our downloads are coming from those guys, putting a good word out about us. But even Canada, we start seeing things like Argentina, India. We're huge in India. We joked about that one day. We're like, India and Indonesia. We're like, how in the world is, two of us, sitting here talking wrestling, getting over in places like Argentina, Indonesia, things like that. I joke about the ones from, Australia and all that, but the United Kingdom's a big hub for us. But even places like, even the states in the United States, like I would love to tell California, Virginia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, obviously Texas, the big states are there, but like, how in the world Massachusetts climbs to the top of our charts on particular episodes baffles me, but we still, again, want to say thank you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw down the gauntlet challenge to Minnesota.
Oh, we're going to call out the Lettman Legion, eh?
Yeah. Hey, man, we couldn't do this without this surge has really started since we've been doing the live shows. And we could not do this without our callers, man. This is wonderful. We really appreciate you guys. Nathan, thank you so much for being so faithful and always having something great to say. Thanks to the other guys that call in. It's made it such an interactive experience. I think that's one part of the appeal is people get to talk a lot on these shows and express their opinions, and we can work with that. So I think that's great. I think this is becoming more of a community effort. We're getting interactive. We're becoming a podcast clearinghouse where all of the podcasts can come and talk, and we can work on stuff together, and we can collaborate with people. Working together is nothing but good from everybody. If you remember your Sesame Street, folks, it's all going to help us.
That was the big thing we talked about over on Twitter over the weekend. We're talking high spots, low blows, couple of marks. Bunch of other podcasts that we talk to back and forth. They're always like, hey man, well, would you be okay if we came on your show? We're like, you're damn right we will be okay when you come on our show. there's plenty of room for people to, we can all be successful. I mean, we're not all going to be Bruce and Conrad, overnight. We're not all going to, get 3 million downloads, but that's not what we were chasing to begin with. I mean, if we could all work together, man, bounce on each other's shows, give everybody a voice. Cause originally when we talked to live shows, that's actually it. We've joked about it 100 times, Myron and I talking. The best thing that could possibly happen is we could have 15, 20 callers, call in and us not really have to talk. I mean, it'd just be us, giving you guys a place to voice your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, your predictions, all that good stuff. And we would just sit here and kind of go like, yep, okay. And if you had a question for us, we answer it. The last thing this show originally was designed for was for us to sit here and talk for, an hour or 2 hours or whatever. So when we have guys like you, Nathan, who call, we tell people, hey, we're not going to run you off. We're going to keep you. If somebody else calls in, hey, we got to take that call. It is what it is. But hey, if you're willing to hang and you're bringing your A game to the table, we'll let you hang and talk. And if anybody can attest to that, I think, Nathan, you would be the first one to agree with that, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I will always put over the Tapped Out Nation for sure.
Thank you, sir. We really do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Do you guys have merch yet?
It's actually, the funny part is we're picking it up. We're picking up some shirts tomorrow that we had made locally, but the guy made the design for me because, it has to be a certain resolution, et cetera, et cetera. The Pro Wrestling Tee store does exist. We just have not uploaded the first file yet. It will be up here shortly because he told me when he designed that shirt for me, he was like, he's just going to give me the design to send up for it. So the shirts will be up soon on Pro Wrestling Tees. But I bet, Nathan, being as loyal as you have, I bet you there might be one that can maybe get shipped to you early.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'd be all about that. I'll put over the Tapped Out podcast at every wrestling show I go to.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
I always jokingly say, if you get a shirt from us, all we ask in return is when you're at events, whether it be a SmackDown, Raw, Ring, we don't care, Impact Wrestling, anything, tweet it, boom, take the picture, put it out, tweet it, tag us in it. Hey, you're good, you're golden. But you've paid your dues. You come to the show enough. You brought your A game a few times, obviously. So yeah, we could probably, if you could DM me just to the private off to the side, which is great. I have to clarify this because the other night we were in a group chat and everybody started shooting me phone numbers. So I'm like, guys, y'all are braver than I am, because it was a bigger group. When we pick those up, I bet one could probably make, all I would probably need to know is your size, your address and your size. Cause I'll probably pick those up tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest, because he did finish them. I got an email today that he finished them.
Awesome.
So absolutely. We'll take care of you, Nathan. Just DM me and let me that information and we'll get you one sent out. So, now with that
Definitely, I appreciate it, gentlemen.
No problem at all, boss.
Not a problem, buddy. Well, man, we're gonna go ahead and take off here unless anybody's got anything they want to say before we jet out of here, because I got to run through the plugs and everything before we cut this thing off. Anything else before we go, guys?
I got nothing else. Can't wait for tomorrow night.
One final thing to say. Tag team wrestling is back.
Yes.
And Raw is back.
Yes.
Sheamus and Cesaro were crazy over tonight. Enzo and Cass will likely get shifted around on Monday, and they'll be revamped. There were, 3 tag team matches tonight?
Yeah.
On the Raw after Mania? That's crazy, and I love it. Tag team wrestling, it's back. And we're probably seeing much more of it tomorrow night, and I'm excited for SmackDown.
Cool.
I agree. You get a vote, yes, thumbs up on that one for me as well. So with that being said, Nathan, if you want to hang around for the plugs, you can. But if you don't, I don't blame you because this is where I can answer everything. So if not, man, we will see you tomorrow night. Okay, buddy?
Gotcha.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Okay.
All right, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, man. And with that, we're going to wrap up here. We're going to go through all of our plugs as usual. Of course, we are here every Monday night, 11:30, Tuesdays at 11 o'clock after Raw and SmackDown, after the pay-per-views, and God help us on weekends like we just had with everything. We were there, trying to be there almost every night. But just keep in mind, that phone number you can call in is 657-383-0091, 657-383-0091. 0091, easy for me to say. But we are clocking now, so you don't want to call in now. You will be here tomorrow after SmackDown, like I said, at 11 o'clock. You can also listen to these. All of the live shows, we do put them as podcast versions as well the following day. Hell, to be honest with you, they're usually up within a couple hours. But those go on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, all that good stuff. But the best way to find it, man, is you're going to be able to, if you just go to our webpage, we're there, tappedOutWrestlingPodcast.com. All of those things are right there on the left. You can find us all the places. Blog Talk Radio, obviously, is where we do our live shows. But then, of course, all the podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, etc. Then, of course, down the middle, the media player is there as well. But you can also find us. There's links. We put everything on the website for a reason because it just kind of made sense. Don't you think, Myron?
Oh, yeah. It's the one place where you can find everything you would possibly want about the Tapped Out podcast and the network and the host and the shows and the links and the social media right there, one place. Yeah, so
all the social media links are there. It's, hey, if you want to find us on Twitter, we're at Tapped Out Pod. That is at Tapped Out Pod. You, of course, can just hunt down your boy Myron if you got something to say to him.
Yeah,
where would you find
Myron the Mark, T-O-P.
Myron the Mark, T-O-P.
It's not the busiest Twitter for people, but I God Almighty, I think I'm tagged and everything gets put out there some days.
Yeah, I usually throw you under the bus and put you under. I tag you and everything. Yeah, so
it's fun. It's fun. Let me get right up in it.
Keeps you in the mix. Of course, you can always go to you can find us on Facebook at Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. We're there because hey, we do all these live shows and everybody's like but these aren't the only shows on the network. Believe it or not, we have Raw recaps, we have SmackDown recaps, we have the Gorilla Press with the Wrestling Dorks. We've got Shooting with Eric Stant returning soon. We do have an Impact show coming soon. That's more details on that later. Myron and I, we also do the Sunday 7. We do the 10 count, the top 10 shows that we do on here. So, I mean, there's tons of stuff. That's why we always tell you, just to make your life simpler, you'd be better off if you just went to like iTunes or Google Play or YouTube or something like that. And what would you do if you went there, Myron?
Like and subscribe. Subscribe.
You want to subscribe to us? Absolutely. If you're on iTunes, man, do that 5-star rating and review for us. We greatly appreciate it. It moves us up the charts, makes it easier to find. Brings a little more, a little attention to the show. So all of those things are there. Then last but not least, we do want to, thank our affiliate programs that we're associated with. First and foremost, I do want to go with the Fight app. We love the Fight app. The Fight app guys cover Ring of Honor. They cover Impact Wrestling, Throwback Championship Wrestling, ICW. I mean, there's just so many wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Yes, organizations that I never thought I would know, I do know now, and it's all because of the Fight app, the Fight TV app. And, man, we just tell you to go to our website or find the link on our Twitter or on our Facebook account. We just tell you to go to the Facebook or the website because it's just typically it's the easier thing. So go to the website, click on that link, download the app, bam, and then that's it. It's installed, man. You can log in with your Facebook page. It makes it super simple. Then, man, you've got tons and tons and tons of free content that you can watch. And then, of course, when the pay-per-views roll around, they're there too. You can watch them, and man, you can stream it. You can stream it up. So, I mean, it's obviously on your iPhone. You could stream it up to your Apple TV, so you can still watch it on your TV as well. So, don't really have an excuse not to. I know some people say, "Hey, when's it coming to PS4?" That would be a great question to ask their customer support because I don't know. The other one we want to throw in there, of course, is our the big one that we had from day one, the Amazon affiliate. Click on that link, man. Go to our website, click on that link, save that page as your bookmark. Get rid of the Amazon.com bookmark that you have on your web browser that you use. Switch it to ours. Make all your normal purchases just like normal. Nothing extra. Don't spend any extra money. That's not what we're asking. When you make those purchases, it doesn't cost you an extra dime, but they kick us a little commission referral fee, if you want to call it with that, and it just helps us support us by covering some of these expenses that we have, and we greatly would appreciate it. That's pretty much all of the gambit that I can think of. except for the big one, of course, and I can't believe I totally blanked on it, is if you want to send us an email at tappedoutvwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com, tappedoutvwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. That's, if you got any questions, comments as well, you can find us there. But, man, other than that, that's it. We went through Raw pretty quick. Yeah, that's all we got tonight. So you're good, buddy? You got nothing else?
Yeah, no. I've still got to absorb and take all this in. It may take a day or so after tomorrow night just to get a little taste of and see where I'm at with all this stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. Well, if that's being said, man, what time is it?
It's time to tap out.
Are you ready to lose those love handles? Do you work hard to stay in shape and eat healthy, yet you can't get rid of stubborn fat? Now there's a clinically proven way to help you look slimmer without surgery or downtime. It's called Sculpture. Sculpture's innovative procedure destroys fat in just 25 minutes with visible results as quickly as 6 weeks. Sculpture sounds amazing, right? Check it out for yourself by clicking on the banner or go to goodbyefat.com.